Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Ironhead Cards. Got a little quick video for you guys here. As I mentioned in a previous video, I've been going through my friend Mike's cards, Mike and his brother's cards. They've collected a lot of sports cards over the decades, and I'm helping him kind of sort through some things and what's valuable is what's listed on eBay and what he could sell for a profit. So this is another edition of Mike's cards, and we were diving into some basketball cards, looking at some 1990-91 Skybox and also some 1990-91 NBA hoops. So here are 5 cards I wanted to highlight that are pretty cool. Number 1, right here, let's get this in focus. This is the 1990-91 Skybox Dennis Rodman number 91 card. As you can see, young Dennis Rodman here posting up against the great Larry Bird. This is, if it was a PSA 10, which it very well might be, the corners are sharp, decent centering, would be $75. Rodman, of course, if you saw The Last Dance last year, I mean, one of the all-time greatest defensive players, 13.1 rebounds per game in his career. There were 2 seasons in Detroit where he averaged 18 rebounds a game for 2 seasons. So that was, one of the great rebounders of all time. And I think this was kind of early in his career, before he really became an all-star. So I want to say this, I could be wrong, but this may be his leading into one of his early all-star years. But the great Dennis Rodman right there. And the look of these Skybox cards were really cool in terms of the way, obviously the guys are photoshopped onto some stylized background. I don't know how common that was back in the early 90s, but, kudos to those early photoshoppers back in the day. All right, next card, sticking with 1990-91 Skybox. Turning our attention to one of the great international players of all time, card number 237, Drazen Petrovic's rookie card. PSA value, PSA 10 would be $53. Again, I think this one has a real shot. It's very sharp, good centering. Petrovic, you would not have Luka, you would not have Dirk, or maybe not like Tony Parker and these other great European players to come through the league without Drazen, who died tragically young in a car accident back in 1993. He was a major international player on those old Yugoslavia and Croatia international teams. His Yugoslavia team played the Dream Team in the 1992 Dream Team in Juan Silver. He was the leading scorer in that gold medal game, leading everyone, including Michael Jordan, and everything. Drazen had 24 points. So, he was considered a really great shooter, great guard for his time. And if you ever watched the 2010 Vlade Divac documentary, Once Brothers, talking about the rift between him and Drazen as the former Yugoslavia broke up, it's really, really incredible story. But yeah, Drazen Petrovic, rookie card here, one of the all-time great international players. I believe he's in the Hall of Fame. He should be. But yeah, rookie card, pretty cool to find that. Shifting our attention now to 1990-91 NBA hoops. We've got one of my all-time favorite players here. Let's get that in focus. That is the great Hakeem Olajuwon. His All-Star card number 178. He's backing down old Patrick Ewing there. So this was Olajuwon's last year, I believe, on a card where his first name was Hakeem. He actually, during his career, changed his name to Hakeem with an H, just because I believe he grew deeper in his Muslim faith, and he said, actually, like, the name is traditionally with an H or something, so I'm just going to go do that. So, one of the all-time great centers of all time, was actually taken ahead of Michael Jordan in the same NBA draft back in the 80s, but I think everyone forgives the Rockets for doing that because Olajuwon, one of the all-time greatest players, won 2 championships. Not Michael Jordan, but not really a lot you could complain about. Still, for my money, my favorite center of all time. When I was a kid, growing up, I was a Rockets fan, and it was because of Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler and those mid-90s Rockets teams that got hot when Jordan retired briefly. But the great Hakeem Olajuwon, going by Hakeem one more time on this card, All-Star card from the 1990 All-Star game. Again, this is the 90-91 NBA Hoops set. So, great Olajuwon. Speaking of greats, another All-Star card, of course, Larry Legend, Larry Bird. Larry, a 12-time All-Star. I mean, he was a 12-time All-Star and played 13 years in the league, so that's just sustained excellence, right? And if this was a PSA 10, it would be $137. Without saying, Larry Bird, one of the great players of all time, probably the greatest Celtic of all time. The stuff him and Magic did together, competing against each other in the 80s, was just legendary. That's why he's called Larry Legend. So it had a cameo in the original Space Jam as well. So, he's got that going for him. Also a great coach and executive. So Larry Bird, All-Star card from 1991 Hoops. And this last card I'm going to feature, man, it's kind of a specialty card. Specialty, but not because it was printed as such, but it's because of what people realize later. This is the 1990-91 NBA Hoops card number 205 Mark Jackson card. Now, this is not a rookie card. This is just Mark Jackson. He's a veteran at this point. He's playing in Madison Square Garden, and normally a base card like this isn't really worth much. But years later, I think people realized the really interesting thing about this card is if you look to the left side of the card, it would be Jackson's right hip, I guess. There's two gentlemen sitting there, and those two guys are the Menendez Brothers, who famously murdered their parents. It was a major court case. I think it was probably the most watched court case of the 90s before the OJ case. But yeah, those two guys right there murdered their parents, and it was national news. But here they are sitting courtside in Madison Square Garden watching Mark Jackson and the Knicks play whoever. But really kind of unique card. This card, if it was a PSA 10, it's gone recently on eBay for between $800 and $1,200. So hard to believe this base card is worth that much, but it's not that often you see two very famous convicted murderers, I guess, sitting courtside, on a basketball card. But that's what makes this card so valuable. So again, I'm continuing to go through my friend Mike's cards. I'm really enjoying doing it. I need to be better about it. I can't seem to carve out all the time to do it. But yeah, what do you think of these cards? Which card here do you think is the coolest? Do you think it's the Mark Jackson with the Menendez Brothers, Larry Legend, the last Olajuwon with an A for Hakeem, Drazen Petrovic, or the Worm, Dennis Rodman? Again, really cool cards from the early 90s. I was just a kid back then, but man, pretty cool deal. If you guys can, give us a like and a subscribe. We really would appreciate it. I hope you guys are all taking care. To all my family and friends, they're down in the Gulf South. Hope you guys are recovering from the terrible hurricane down there. And, everyone, if you can, give some donations to the Red Cross or any charity that's down there. I know the people down there could really use it. So thanks again for tuning in here to Ironhead Cards. We'll catch you next time.